In this example, we are working with the same data set. So I'll quickly rewrite the function that we wrote earlier. Equal to VLOOKUP. We are searching for Darren Powers. Our table array is from C3 till E10. And remember, we are pressing F4 to get the dollar signs. The result is in column 3. And the type of match is exact. Now you notice that this works perfectly. I'm getting the results for Darren, Anthony, Mick, and Philina. Now the problem here is that imagine tomorrow some more names get added. So I'm just adding 3 more customers. I will just color this yellow so that we know that these are the new names that we've added. Now, if I have some more names that we want to get the result for, and I try to copy this formula down, you notice that it does not work. The reason for this is that despite the fact that row number 11, 12, and 13 have been added, we ourselves had focused on only selecting C3 to E10, which means that we were not interested in the rows that get added after row number 10. Now, if your data set is fixed, that means that if you were confident that you will never add more customer names, then it would not have made a difference. But if you feel that you are going to add more customer names in the future, then you need to account for that possibility and make sure that you're writing the function in a manner that it picks up the new records as well. So I will just press Ctrl Z a few times. And we are going to slightly modify our original formula. So rather than saying that we want to select from C3 to E10, we don't want to choose row number 3 to 10, right? Because we're not sure how many records I have in my customer name database. So very smartly, we will only write C colon E. And this means, if you look carefully, we're choosing the entire column C, D, and E. That means that even if more customer names get added in the future, the formula will continue to work. Let's do that once again. You notice that I'm going to add these new customers at the bottom. And when we try to copy the formula from above, we are getting the result 262 and 667 without having to make any manual change. Now, when should you work with the entire column and when should you work with specific rows? Now, it is a little difficult to let you pick one without having a look at your data set and your requirement. But my thumb rule always is that unless you have a very good reason not to select the entire column, please make sure to select it. You will always have an advantage by selecting the entire column, that as in how new records get added, the formulas will also keep on getting updated. Is there any risk of doing this? A little bit, especially when you're working with very large data sets. So think of 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh records. Sometimes there might be a very small slowdown in the way the formula is running, but that's almost a negligible difference. And I think the trade off is definitely on the positive side, which means that you're benefiting when you're selecting the entire column. Do remember that for certain financial modeling statements, you might not want to choose the entire column for a number of reasons. So don't feel that I'm compelling you to use this every single time. I'm just giving you an alternative. But for most of us, for standard procedures, selecting the entire column is always the better choice. But do remember that there are certain models and certain situations wherein you might have to choose the specific rows and not choose the entire column.